Hello, hello. I thought that I would do something a little bit different today. I have invited my really good friend Gina to join us. Gina is a custom baker. So she makes cakes, cupcakes, brownies. Today she's brought pound cake and blueberries. So Gina is my special guest today. You guys know what I do. I do private wine tastings and after hours corporate events for Wine Shop at Home. So that's why Gina and I were meant to be friends.
Because we can do the wine and food.
Yeah, wine and sweets always goes together. So I brought Gina's cupcakes with me to a tasting or two. And so my guests ended up doing a cupcake flight with their wine tasting. It went over really well because at the end of the tasting, everyone was full and half in the bag. So call that success. So, but conversely, I've also done a tasting at Gina's house. I did one just recently. And so I worked with Gina and we came up with the wines. I brought those with me. And when I was at her house, she did not cupcakes, but it was a blood orange brownie. It was like a Mexican spice brownie.
Pound cake.
Pound cake. I don't remember what else was there.
Oh, I had Italian cookies.
So
Three
good.
different versions
Oh,
of
the
Italian
pizzelli
cookies.
or
I
something.
had pizzelle, biscotti, and Italian Christmas cookies. I know. It
So
was
good.
June, but still.
You wish they were there. It was
Yeah,
it was
good.
just delicious. So so as you can see, this was like a friendship made in wine and cookie heaven. So so the reason I brought Gina here today is because we're all kind of in vacation mode right now. It's beautiful outside. That's why we couldn't do this in my house. It's beautiful outside, and you know, I think like right now someone's on a beach right now, and they're thinking like, what are they going to have for dinner? Someone's in Europe right now and they are like hungry for a snack and they're gonna like jump into a bistro somewhere. So much of our lives revolves around eating, but not eating just anything, something memorable, something really, really special. And so that is one of the reasons that I wanted to bring Gina here today, is because as we're both like foodies and winies with our own little specialty, I kind of wanted to ask Gina about her vacation, what she had on the horizon, and what has inspired her. However, before we go there, I want to tell you, or I'll let Gina tell you a little bit about herself. Gina being a custom baker, having her own company, it's called From Gina's Kitchen. So if I can just turn this over to you, can you tell us just a little bit about From Gina's Kitchen, how you got started?
Well, I got started because I just love to bake and I love to cook. And when I was a kid, I used to go to visit my grandmother. She lived right down the street from me, and I would watch her cook and bake all sorts of things, especially at the holidays. So that's where I get the Italian cookies from, because that was a staple on our family Christmas cookie table. But then as I got married and had children, you have lots to celebrate. You have birthdays, you have birthday parties, you have anniversaries. So I just became a stay-at-home mom after working at a nonprofit for 3 years, became a stay-at-home mom and decided, hey, I really like to cook, I really like to bake, and I'm gonna just try this. So did it for my family and friends for years and years and years. And then in 2015 decided, I think I could probably do this as a business. After I had a couple of friends offer to give me the cost of my ingredients because they wanted me to do a cake or cupcakes for their special events. After having them offer and me saying no, and then them insisting, I was like, maybe I should try this as a business. So in 2015, I went the business route and started small on social media, basically word of mouth, people at my church, people in my neighborhood, my friends, my kids, their parents. Whenever they had a party, they might ask me, can you do a cake? Can you do a dessert? And then in 2017, I decided, well, I want to go to the next level. And for me, the next level was I want to try to do wholesale, or get into a coffee shop, or do events, like bigger events. So went to a commercial kitchen incubator, and I took a 3-month course on how to run a food business. They didn't teach me how to bake or cook. I had to come with that knowledge. They taught me how to do the boring stuff, the stuff no one wants to do, the finances, keeping the books.
Oh yeah.
That kind of stuff. Budgets, your projected outcome at the end of the year, going
Yeah.
month to month and projecting how many sales you're going to have. So I did have to learn all that, and I still am going through a learning phase 2 years later. But it was a great experience, and I currently rent commercial kitchen space so that when I have a large event or I work at the farmer's market, which I do every Thursday in the city of Manassas, I have a place where I can bake cupcakes, cakes, cookies, and anything else that people would order from me. So here I am in 2019. So unofficially 4 years as a business,
Wow.
officially 2 years as an LLC. And I love every minute of it. I love helping people with their events. I love helping suggest to people what kind
Sometimes
of,
people don't even know what to ask for.
right, or they don't know how much to ask for.
So, can you tell me about like where do you get your inspiration for cakes? I mean, obviously you get certain number of people to tell you specifically what they
Right.
want, but what if, do you play around with like the buttercream flavors? I know the ones that you made for my cupcake flight for the wine tasting, it was like a white cake and it had like a raspberry. It was so good. So where do you get that inspiration from?
Oh, go into stores looking at, I love Fran's Cake and Candy in Fairfax. They've got walls and walls of flavors, extracts, emulsions, sugars, decorations for cakes. So just walking around there, or even popping into Michael's, or even Google. You can Google how to make strawberry buttercream, how to make lemon buttercream, best flavors to pair with chocolate, or what can I fill a vanilla cake with that isn't your typical strawberry.
Yeah.
So everywhere, I mean, whether it's in-person shopping, online shopping, Pinterest, of course, you get a lot of ideas off of that. And I'm a cookbook collector, so I've been collecting cookbooks since before I can even remember. And
Are all your cookbooks bakings?
Oh, no.
Or are they like, they're everything?
They're everything.
Okay, so
like from
in the stove, or like in the
Yeah.
oven and on the stove, kind of.
Yep, it's not just baking. I've
Okay.
got Julia Child, I've
Yeah.
got Martha Stewart, I've got Rachel Ray.
They can't eat cupcakes all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Try as they will.
You got to eat something else every once in a
Yeah.
while.
That's fantastic. So going back to business, what's the best, or maybe like the toughest business lesson you've ever learned?
Aside from, let me think about this. I think the biggest lesson I still, to this day, have to remind myself of is something that was said to me in the food business course that I took back in 2017. 2016 now, I guess. Anyway, one of the instructors said, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle when you're looking at Instagram. She used Instagram.
Don't we
as
do
an
that all the
example.
time?
She used that as an example. She
Such
said,
a great
don't compare your beginning of your business to someone else's middle, because you
Guilty.
don't know.
Guilty. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else looks like they have it together, and I'm so far
Right.
behind, and I'm not any good at this. And it's like, no, you're good at this because your heart told you to be here,
Right.
but I'm just not as proficient as the next person. And
And
maybe my
my-
style is different than another person too.
And
yeah.
what I'm good at is different from what someone else is good
Yeah.
at. And my cupcakes are different than the next gal's. My cookies are different than the next gal's.
Yeah.
But I also don't know how long has that gal been in business.
Mm-hmm.
What background do they
Yeah.
have, he
Yeah.
or she?
Sometimes
So-
we're totally unfair about those assessments.
And it's a daily reminder, like, don't
Yeah,
do it.
It's a good point.
Don't
It's
do
a good
it.
point. Can you tell us a little bit about what you brought today?
Oh, yes.
The yummy thing we're about to eat.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna.
I made my all butter pound cake, and we are going to pair it with, well, because it's blueberry season, it's National Blueberry Month, courtesy
Yay.
of my friend Melissa in New Jersey,
Yay.
the Russo
Thanks,
Fruit and
Melissa.
Vegetable Farm.
Thanks,
I
Russo
brought-
family.
I brought blueberries all the way from New Jersey, and they are the
Yay.
best.
But wait, there's more. Look at this, you guys. This is ridiculous.
Okay, so I just
of course
whipped
she's a
up
baker.
little. I made some fresh whipped cream. I had it on hand, so.
You know this one doesn't own like Cool Whip, yeah. It's like
Well,
this, like,
in a
double
pinch
speak.
we use Cool Whip, but I had all the ingredients, so I made it.
That is fantastic. So I have to ask, so we're in vacation mode, it's summer. Thank you, Annoying Plane, for joining us out. So everyone goes on vacation, they've had something amazing, something delicious, whether it was like just a simple appetizer or it was a cocktail or amazing dessert. What was it for you? I know that you're a total nerd for Disney.
Anything I eat at Disney is my favorite.
What's your favorite park?
Oh, Epcot.
Yeah?
Yes.
What's your favorite country?
Oh, that's tough.
I know, it's unfair.
It is unfair. I'm thinking, what would my kids say my favorite country was? I don't know. It's tied between Morocco and Italy.
Oh.
Tied between them.
I was going to say, I like London because I like going there for, not really, well, we get lunch there, but they do like the beer and they pour you a Boddington's and a Guinness together. It's not really, well, kind of is a meal because it's pretty heavy, but yeah. Anyways, that's my favorite.
Okay.
So between Morocco and Italy.
Yes.
Okay. So what's your meal? What have you recreated?
Okay, let's see. What have I recreated? Okay, from Morocco, I've done the Moroccan chicken wrap, which is chicken shawarma on a wrap with couscous that has fruit in it. So
Yum.
Good. So good.
Yum.
Homemade tzatziki. And then for a family meal, which everybody enjoys, I've recreated the steak from Le Cellier in Canada. And it's got
Canada.
the mushroom white wine sauce with truffle oil,
Yes, please.
little petite filet. Yeah, so
Oh my gosh.
I've
We
got
all
cookbooks.
secretly hate Gina right now for like making our mouths water. Here we are in Virginia, not exactly close to Disney World property, but oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. I know that, and just there's all these things that we always take home. You've taken home from every trip, I think you said earlier. I love her souvenir.
It's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook. I love that. I love, because those are the things that's like, especially when you cook and you cook from a heart, it's like, you know, who doesn't love a Ferragamo scarf from Italy? This girl. But getting your foodie on somewhere and getting like their proper authentic recipes.
Yeah, I really am pretty plain and simple. Actually, I also have a shot glass collection. So one of the other things I bring back from my trips is usually a shot glass. And I've been doing that since I was a teenager, so
That's
it's not new.
awesome. That's awesome.
So I've got, but the cookbooks, yes. I
That is
definitely, no matter where we travel to, I try to find a local cookbook. And I also like when a local will recommend a cookbook to me.
Okay.
So when we were in Canada last summer, we
Disney's
were
Canada or Canada?
Real Canada.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I know. As we walked around Real Canada,
Yeah.
we just kept thinking, wow, Disney really knows what they're doing, because Canada in Disney looks exactly like Canada.
Wow.
I don't know how they did it, but
Yeah.
they did.
Someone flew.
Yeah, really. Very good. Disney Imagineers were doing a good job.
Wow.
So when we were in Canada, we were sightseeing and getting ready to do kayak on Emerald Lake. And where we were renting the kayaks from, they had a gift shop. So I started to look around, and they had a cookbook, and I wasn't 100% sure, because I was like, well, this is from an inn, and I don't know. So I asked the gals at the clerks at the desk, if you were going to buy a cookbook, which one would you buy? And they said, oh, this one from the Skokie Inn. And they started telling me a story about William and Kate, and that's where they honeymooned.
Oh, wow.
And there's a whole meal in the back of the book. It's what was served to them when they checked in,
That's
or
fantastic.
during their stay. So, and they also told me to make the killer chili, because it was phenomenal.
Apparently
And
killer.
so, it's killer. And last summer, I was in July making chili at home, because I had to use my cookbook. So
That is
That's my
fantastic.
Canada story.
I love that. Gina, thank you so much for coming over today,
Thank
for
you for
sharing your
having me.
sweet tooth, for sharing these sweets that we're about to dive into. You guys usually see me eat winesicles, but I'm not going to gross you out and eat like pound cake and whipped cream and blueberries in front of you. But thank you so much for coming over. Cheers. Thanks for getting our foodie and our wine on. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.